हेलो।
Yes, sir.
हेलो, आवाज जा रही है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक। We have been reading the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and we have discussed a lot in details regarding the Romantic Age, regarding the Neoclassical Age. Why do we call it Neoclassical Age? What are the characteristics of Neoclassical Age? And against this, just contrary to this age, there came an age known as Romantic Age in the 19th century, as there is prefix before the word classical. Likewise, there is a suffix after the word romantic, that is romantic revival, and we all have discussed in a detailed way, throwing light on all the special features of neoclassical age as well as romantic revival. We have also discussed all the romantic poets, Wordsworth, Coleridge, Byron, Shelley, Keats. These are the great romantic poets in English literature, as in Hindi literature. Prasad, Pant, Nirala, Verma, these are called the romantic poets. In Hindi it is called Chayavadi Kavi in English literature, in Hindi literature. And we have also discussed what are their specialization. All the doctors are MBBS, all the doctors are MS, all the doctors are MD, but they have their specialization. Someone is neurologist, someone is orthopedics, someone is cardiologist. Likewise, all the poets, Wordsworth, Coleridge, Byron, Shelley, Keats, these are called romantic poets. They have some common characteristics, but they have some specialization. We have discussed Wordsworth is a poet of nature. Coleridge is a poet of supernaturalism. Shelley is a revolutionary poet. Byron is a poet of champion of liberty, or Keats is a poet of beauty. So they have their specialization in their own way. Today we shall discuss the story of the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Actually, I have told you that the rhyme means story, of means ka, an ancient mariner means an old sailor. There is an old sailor who is narrating the story, who is expressing the experience of his life, or he is narrating the story regarding his journey, what has happened with him when he was making his journey in the sea. So in this story, there is a mariner and he is narrating the story, he is telling the story. Actually, there were three wedding There were 3 wedding guests. They are going to participate in a wedding ceremony, in a reception, in a bahubhat. Those 3 guests come across this ancient mariner. One of the wedding guests is stopped by the ancient mariner, and the ancient mariner asks him to stop and and he also asks him to listen to his story. The wedding guest who is stopped by the ancient mariner does not like to stay. So he removes his hand from his own hand. Actually, the ancient mariner holds the hand of the wedding guest into his own hand, but the hand of the ancient mariner is removed from the hand of the wedding guest, and he doesn't like to stop there. But when the ancient mariner starts looking at the eyes of the wedding guest, he is spellbound. The wedding guest is hypnotized and he stops. He becomes motionless, and there is a piece of a stone there lying, and on that very piece of a stone the wedding guest sits like a 3-year-old child, and carefully he starts hearing the story narrated by the ancient mariner. The ancient mariner narrates his story, and the wedding guest starts listening to him like a 3-year-old child innocently. The wedding guest tells that once I was making my journey in the sea. I was sailing my ship, I was sailing my boat, and the boat was going southwards. Suddenly, the storm breaks out in the sea, and my ship was taken to the South Pole. This was the region where there was no man, where there was no creature. Only ice was there, only snow was there, only mist was there, only fog was there. So my ship was stuck at the snow, at the ice. It can't move from one place to another place, and the atmosphere was foggy. Nothing was visible. What to do or what not to do was problem before me. My ship was staying at one place motionlessly. I was sitting on the boat along with my mariners, along with my mates, other mariners, other sailors. Suddenly, a creature appeared in the sky. This creature was a word, and this word was an albatross. Albatross is a sea word. So, when I took into notice this word, I had a hope that someone is coming. God has sent someone to me for my help. I took the word to be a Christian soul. Christian soul means here the representative of God, that is Christ. He will come and he is coming to save us. He will take us out of this hellish situation. The mariner came and it started hovering over the mast of my ship. I welcomed the albatross and it started flying over the ship. There was none to help me. I took it to be my friend. The friendship was formed between the albatross and me. I used to supply the albatross with food materials every day. I used to give him water to drink, and in this way 7 days and 7 nights passed. The albatross became my friend. I loved him, and after 7 days everything was going well. Suddenly one day I felt eccentric and I shot the albatross with my arrow and bow. I myself do not know why I have killed the albatross with my arrow and bow, but I have killed. You may say, wantonly I killed, or feeling myself eccentric, I killed the albatross, but I killed the albatross. After the killing of albatross, all other mates of mine, meaning thereby that all other mariners sitting on the ship started hating me, scolding me. Why have you killed? You should not have killed the albatross. The albatross was our friend. We used to give him food. We used to give him water to drink. And you have killed it. So by killing the albatross, you have not done well. In the beginning, all other mariners started criticizing the killing of albatross. But after some time, suddenly the fog disappeared, the fog vanished, the wind started blowing, the snow started melting, and the ship started moving, going from one place to another place. The ship the ship came into motion, and it started sailing. Navigation started. So when the fog disappeared and the wind started blowing, all the other mariners became very happy, and they started appreciating the work done by the ancient mariner. And what was the work? He has killed the albatross. Means the killing of albatross was appreciated by the other mariners, and this is the point where all of them became the partner in the scene of the ancient mariner. For some time, everything was going well. Suddenly, the ship was moving well. The mariners were very, very happy. Suddenly, the wind stopped, and the ship became motionless. The sun started shining hotly in the sky. The hot sun, the hot rays of the sun started falling upon the surface of the water, and the water became very hot. The ancient mariner was in a fix, and then the attitude towards the ancient mariner, the attitude of the other mariners towards the ancient mariner changed. They started scolding the ancient mariner. You should not have killed the albatross. It was the representative of God. It had come to rescue us, but you have killed. And they started criticizing, they started hating, they have hatred for the ancient mariner, and they tied the dead body of the albatross around the neck of the ancient mariner. The ancient mariner was sitting on the ship, and the food has run short, the drinking water has run short, his throat was dry, he was thirsty, he was hungry, he had nothing to drink, He had nothing to take food, and the wind was stopped. It was not blowing, and ultimately the ancient mariner saw that someone is coming to my ship. He saw a creature, peculiar creature on the horizon in the evening. In the beginning, it was a dot, it was a spake. Then it changed into a fog. Then it changed into a skeleton of the ship. On that very ship, there were two persons, there were two mates. One is man, another is woman. Man is death, woman is death in life. They were playing dice, and the ancient mariner was at the stake. They went on playing dice, and the woman won the game, and the woman was life and death. So now the ancient mariner has to bear life and death. I have told you these two terms have been invented by S.T. Coleridge, and Coleridge means by the word death. Death means death in life and life in death. Both are opposite to each other, as the terms classicism and romanticism are opposite to each other. Death in life means complete death, means you have gone to the world from where there is no system of coming back, permanent death. That is death in life, means you have died, you have lost your life. There is another term, death in life. I have told you, you are alive, but you are worse than a dead person. Just to tell you are alive, but you cannot do any work. You cannot move from one place to another place. Suppose that paralysis has attacked you, and you are lying, you are confined to the bed. You are a bedridden person. Without attendant, you can't go to the washroom. You can't go to the bathroom. You cannot move from one place to another place. So, this is the suffering. You are suffering from life and death for your sin which you have committed in your life. So this is called life and death. Just to say you are alive, but you are worse than a dead person. You are waiting for the arrival of death. Over and over again, you are praying to Param Pita Parameshwar, to get rid of this heinous situation, hellish life. So, the ancient mariner was at stake and death in life, that is the lady, won the race, and now the ancient mariner has got to bear the hellish situation, has got to bear the death, life and death. He sees, and after some time, I have told you, all these things were seen by the ancient mariner in the evening. Suddenly the sun sets and the darkness starts and the night comes. After this, the ancient mariner sees that one by one, all the mariners on the sea start falling upon the deck of the ship. All of them are lying senselessly on the ship. It seems that they are looking at the ancient mariner, but all of them were senseless. The poet's throat has completely dried. He is very much suffering from hunger. He has nothing to take as a food. He has nothing to drink as water. In this way, he has been undergoing the sufferings because he has killed the albatross. And after this, he also sees that the sun is shining in the sky. The sun looks very hot, and the hot rays of the sun are falling upon the surface of the water. The water of the sea has become warm. They started boiling like a mustard oil which boils in the pan. The sea creatures are feeling suffocated. They can't remain inside the water. They are coming up feeling restless. The poet is crying, water, water everywhere, but not a drop of water to drink. Pani beach mean pyasi. The fish lives in the water, still it is thirsty. So the ancient mariner cries, went on crying and crying, water, water everywhere. I am around the water. My boat is floating upon the surface of the water. Everywhere nothing is seen except water and water all around me. But there is no drop of water to drink, and all the number of the ancient mariner is perhaps 200, and all of them are lying upon the ship, upon the deck of the ship. So he tells, alone, alone, all alone. He is with his friends, but he is alone. They are not alive. All of them are lying senseless. So he is sitting there with the senseless body, or you may say, for a time being, you may say, the dead body of the ancient mariner. The night comes and it starts raining, it starts drizzling, and in the morning all the mariners lying senselessly upon the ship get up. All the senseless mariners came into senses, and automatically the wind starts blowing. Automatically the ship started moving from one place to another place, and they started sailing the boat. Automatically they get up and started performing their work. It is a mystery, it is a wonder, and mystery and wonder are the characteristics of romantic poetry. After all, why did it happen? Some supernatural creature came and started supporting them. This is called a miracle. Miracle has happened with them, and all the dead mariners became alive, and they started sailing their boat. They started performing their duties, and again the ancient mariner soon fell upon the boat, and he sleeps for the whole night. In the morning when he gets up, he feels very much refreshed, and he finds himself on the boat, which is automatically sailing, going northwards, and he sees that my ship has reached my native land. Some landmarks are recognized by the ancient mariner, which indicate that your ship has reached your own country. He became very happy, and he sees that there were 3 persons sitting on the boat. One is sailor, another is his son, and third one is a hermit. These three persons are sitting on a boat, and the boat is coming towards my ship. The poet tells that the boat reaches near the ship of the ancient mariner. The ancient mariner becomes very happy to see the boat, to see the three persons sitting on the boat. Now he is ready to narrate the story of the incident which has occurred in his life while he was making his journey in the sea. As soon as the boat comes to the ship of the ancient mariner, the ship the ship sinks. The ship sinks into the water of the sea, but those three persons rescued the ancient mariner, and the ancient mariner narrates the story of the incident which has occurred in his life when he was on journey in the sea, and he has also promised to the hermit that moving from country to country, from one land to another land, I will narrate the story, and people will get a moral lesson from this story. Actually, in the last part, the poem is divided into 7 parts. In the last part of this poem, the poet gives us a moral lesson. Actually, the poet tells that the ancient mariner has made friendship with the albatross, and all the creatures in this world, whether they are big or small, all of them have been made by God. All the creatures are the sons and daughters of God. They have been created by God, and it is God who is making arrangement, everything for all the creatures. And we have not made any creature. They are not man-made. They are natural things. They are natural creatures. So all of them are the children of Parampita Parmeshwar, children of God, and we people certainly should have compassion for each other. We people must have sympathy for each other, and the best way of praying to God is to love all the creatures, whether they are great or small, whether they are big or small. Even the poet talks of an ant. And the poet also talks of an elephant. So he tells us that he prayeth well who loveth well. One who loves the creatures, it means he is praying to God. Or simply you may say that the best way of praying to God is to have sympathy for all the creatures. The best way of offering puja, the best way of worshipping God is to show compassion towards all the creatures. The best way of offering puja to God is to love all the creatures. So he tells, he prayeth well who loveth well. Birds, beasts, animals, men, women. He prayeth best who loveth best. The best way of praying to God is to love all the creatures. He prayeth best who loveth best. One who loves best prays to God in the best possible manner. So he gives us the moral lesson that all the creatures are the parts and parcel of nature. God has created them, so we should not make difference between man, between words and beasts, between great and small. No, all the creatures are the descendants of God. So we people should love equally them. And if you do like this, you are the real devotee to God. You are the real devotee to the Creator. You are the real Bhakt. You are the real devotee to Parampita Parameshwar. So, the poet suggests us that if you go against the natural law, the nature will also go against you. And the situations become chaotic. Actually, when the ancient mariner sees all the sea creatures feeling restless, swimming upon the surface of the sea water, the water is boiling, and suddenly a change occurred into his mind, and he had shown sympathy towards the sea creature unknowingly. He sees that how they are suffering, they should not suffer as much as they are suffering. What I mean to say is that the compassion. His heart is filled with sympathy. His heart is filled with compassion. His heart is filled with love. And this is the moment where the dead body of the albatross tied around the neck of the ancient mariner breaks and falls into the sea. As soon as the ancient mariner kills the albatross, he has committed sin by showing cruelty towards the albatross. But as soon as the heart of the ancient mariner is filled with love, filled with sympathy, filled with compassion, this is the spiritual regeneration of the ancient mariner. Spiritually, his life is regenerated. In the beginning, he was a cruel person. Now he is a kind person. He is a compassionate person. And this is called the spiritual regeneration of the ancient mariner. And he has committed mistake by killing the albatross, and this is the reason why he suffered from hunger, he suffered from thirst, being in the company of his friend. He is alone, but when his heart is, or when the compassion, the compassionate idea starts creeping into the mind of the ancient mariner, his new life starts. Spiritually, he is regenerated. That is the spiritual regeneration of the ancient mariner. And he becomes free from the sin. So from this story, or through this poem, mariner S.T. Coleridge has given us a very beautiful moral lesson that we people should love all the creatures equally. We should not differentiate between great and small, between birds and beasts, between the poor and the rich, between the man and woman. No, all the creatures are the children of God. All the creatures have been created by God. So all the creatures are equal in the eyes of God. God never makes difference between man and man, between woman and man, between the poor and the rich, between the birds and beasts, between animals and animals. No. So this is the best moral lesson which has been given to us by S.T. Coleridge through the poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So simply I would like to conclude this poem by telling you all that the best way of praying to God is to love all the creatures. इस दुनिया में जितने भी जीव हैं सभी प्रभु के संतान हैं और हम लोगों का काम है सेव करना, प्रोटेक्शन देना, सेवा करना, पानी देना, भोजन देना, न कि मारना. यदि हम लोग if we all people kill any creature, we go against the law of the nature. And if something goes wrong, if we go against the law of nature, means you are going against Parampita Parmeshwar, against God. So we should not go against the law of the nature by disobeying the natural law. This is the best message given to us by Coleridge through this poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I have told you it is a romantic poem. Why do we call it romantic poem? Because there are so many romantic elements in this poem. Imagination is there, sense of awe is there, mystery is there, wonder is there, love is there, sympathy for the poor creatures is there, supernatural elements are there. So these are the things which are known as romantic elements, and these things reflect in this poem. Therefore, it is called a romantic poem. I have told you it is a nature poem. Why? Because we find the role of nature in this poem. There is the sun, there is the moon, there are stars. All the epics are called long narrative poems, whether it is Ramayana or it is the Quran or the Ramcharitmanas. All the epics are long narratives, having grand style, and the theme is of super level. So, this is the poem, summary of the poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and today here I stop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.